How about them Cowboys?
Angry Cowboys Fan, are you down to ride? Angry Cowboys Fan, are you down to ride? Drop a like on the video, go ahead and subscribe.
What's going on, Cowboy Nation and Angry Cowboy fans around the world? Y'all know who it is. It's your boy, the Angry Cowboys Fan, giving y'all this classy content about our Dallas Cowboys. So if you're DC for life and want to help the channel reach its goal of 10,000 subscribers, drop a like on the video, share this content, and please subscribe to the channel. Yesterday, I was watching a clip of the Rich Eisen Show available on the Roku channel. Him and Tom Pelissero started discussing the Dallas Cowboys and trying to understand the logic of the past offseason. You know me, Cowboys Nation. I was looking for those little nuggets of knowledge that can be found in conversations from Rich Eisen and his guest. So we're going to take a listen to the 3 nuggets of knowledge that I got for you about our Dallas Cowboys, and you know what we're going to do after that. We are going to come back and unpack this raw and uncut. So, Angry Cowboys fans, let's go ahead and take a listen to Rich Eisen.
I've heard really good feedback on the rookie class, how good they think this group has a chance to be. And they're going to need them to be really good because they're all going to have to play.
Well, that's the whole idea of a team that has Super Bowl aspirations and had a terrific season last year, regular season last year, that the reaction to being one and done in Green Bay is we're just going to freeze it. We're going to freeze it. We're going to go draft as well as we possibly can, and we're going to let everybody around here know that if you want to stay here, you have to win here this year. And I understand that that puts the lid on a boiling pot potentially, and that it can actually work and it can hit. But it's a very expensive way of doing business that can also backfire on the way somebody handles that pressure, or it can backfire on the way of even in ultimate success. You put the trophy in the case, and obviously that's the whole idea. But now everyone's going to want even more.
I feel the same type of urgency Tom Pelissero feels when it comes to the importance of each individual player being a difference maker on this team. Contrary to popular beliefs, it takes an entire 53-man roster plus the practice squad and the coaching to get any team to a Super Bowl championship. Your 9 All-Pros, they are who needs to be the leaders of this team. I'll get more to leadership in my raw and uncut portion, so make sure you stick around for that. In the second clip that I got for you, Rich Eisen discussed the risk of how the Dallas Cowboys front office has been handling the contracts of their star players. So let's go ahead and get into the clip that I got for you, and then we're going to come back and talk about it. Roll the clip.
You know CeeDee Lamb's going to have to get paid.
Right.
We know Micah Parsons is going to have to get paid. Dak is more of an ish situation, I guess, because the quarterback might be, in their estimation, the reason why they're not getting to the NFC Championship game. And if they're willing to reset and go back into the free agent market with somebody completely different, or reset and go into the draft and get somebody, that's a risky play as well. Or you go and you redo the deals for everybody in a timely fashion, so it's not going to be as expensive as it is to wait. And then you now might be able to reconfigure your cap to go get Derrick Henry and take some of the pressure off your quarterback, or go out and get fill in the blank other defensive pass rusher.
Right.
You know, I'll just throw it out again. I mean, Danielle Hunter's in the state right now, just not for them.
I honestly think that Jerry Jones invites the pressure. But anyway, it really ticks me off about this offseason and off seasons prior. The lack of urgency when it comes to signing your top players. When asked why, it's all about the salary cap. When we live in a day and age where we can see the numbers. We live in a day and age where fans know how the salary cap works. We know that if you sign Dak Prescott, his cap hit this year could drastically change. If you sign CeeDee Lamb, his cap hit could be manipulated to where it gives this team a 2-year window to push the chips in and truly go all in. In this last clip that I got for you, Tom Pelissero talks about the norm when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. So let's take a listen and then come back and unpack my raw and uncut. So, Cowboys Nation, take a listen.
Right. I'm just throwing names who are available that you could then bring in. If you want to go all in 1 year, go for it. You had the team that did as well as it did in last year's regular season. I feel like I'm a broken record on this subject matter here.
Well, because nothing's happened. We have to keep having the same conversation because they still haven't done anything. They signed Eric Kendricks after he got cut by the Chargers. They brought back Zeke. They signed Royce Freeman. And then they had the draft. And that's the extent of the moves that they've made in this offseason. I would say this. I mean, this is not the first time Jerry has had a head coach in the final year of his deal. Jason Garrett did it too. I think that, you've got a head coach that was won 12 games last 3 years. Obviously, brutal in the playoff game. They just weren't ready to go. For one reason or another, it was a disaster from the start in that game against Green Bay. But Mike's a really good and highly accomplished coach who now has so much pressure on his shoulders, not just because of his contract situation, but because you're basically saying, hey, we didn't bring in anybody veteran-wise to help other than, again, Kendricks, who knows Mike Zimmer's defense. They made the defensive coordinator switch because Dan Quinn moves to Washington. They bring in Zim, who's very established. But everybody's on, the last year of their contracts. And, oh, yeah, you're going to have to play all these young guys. That's a lot on people's shoulders all at the same time. We'll see exactly how that hits. I don't get the sense that Mike McCarthy is, upset about anything in terms of, why aren't they just, redoing the deal now? I would say this is the situation that you're in. Let's go kick everybody's ass and then we'll all get paid.
Angry Cowboys fans, sometimes pressure bursts pipes. Other times, pressure makes diamonds. With the majority of the players on a 1-year deal or in the last year of their contract, it's make or break season. It's all or nothing, Cowboys Nation. What they do with all that pressure is up to the individual himself. So y'all ready for my raw and uncut? Y'all ready? Let's get it. Everyone understands this to be a make or break season for the Dallas Cowboys. For Mike McCarthy as the head coach, for Dak Prescott as the franchise quarterback. Now it seems like they're looking at CeeDee Lamb as well, even though they didn't draft a receiver early on in the NFL draft and they don't have a viable replacement for him. Seems like they're talking about him too. Well, shoot, let Jalen Tolbert take his spot. Nah, we all set with that, guys. We are totally fine. I don't trip on Micah Parsons, though. I don't trip on him because he could easily be signed off season. But why all this manufactured pressure by the ones who are supposed to be relieving the pressure by shoring up this team? Why all this cap hit talk when we know what a signing could do when it comes to relieving some pressure off of the salary cap? These players and now these fans, we're not dumb. This isn't 1996 where fans didn't have access to the numbers. This isn't a time where we just believe what the front office tells us. We can actually go see what the salary cap is and some of what goes on in the contract negotiation. We know if you sign a player, how you can load his contract so it's not much of an impact on the cap the current year. So why is it really you're waiting, Jerry Jones? Unnecessary pressure? The leaves have fallen, Jerry Jones. We shouldn't have to be flooded out before we consider arming the levees. We shouldn't be waiting to stop the disaster minutes before the disaster happens. Y'all know what this reminds me of, Cowboys Nation? Y'all know what this reminds me of? Some places still allow you to pump your gas and then pay for it after you pump. Yes, New Jersey, it's legal up here to pump your own gas. Anyhow, have you ever played the game of holding the pump down and releasing it right as the price you wanted to spend without going over? This is how the Jones family conducts business with the stars of their team, with the players that they drafted. For almost 30 years, the Dallas Cowboys have been missing the mark. Just because you waited until the last minute to pay Emmitt Smith, causing him to hold out, doesn't mean it's going to be that way every time you have a star player wanting to get paid. They're not going to come back and y'all go on to win the Super Bowl. We're not that team, Jerry. No matter how hard you want them to be, they are not that team. See, Angry Cowboys fans, I'm about to go off on a rant, and I truly apologize before I go off on it, but I am sick and tired of the Dallas Cowboys front office conducting business as normal, as if that route has produced any playoff success. First and foremost, when these players get drafted, they can't even be themselves picking the number that they want. You got to live in the past and make them wear a number synonymous with said past. CeeDee Lamb didn't want to wear number 88, but because our owner has a huge nostalgia boner, he had to. The newest member of that squad is Marshawn Nealon, tying him in with Charles Haley and DeMarcus Ware. More unnecessary added pressure from the front office, all because of their obsession with the past. All I'm going to say is, if you stay in the past, you will get left in the past. Just ask KB Toys, Roses, Toys R Us, Buy Low, Blockbuster Video. I've also been seeing a few content creators make videos on the leadership of the Dallas Cowboys locker room. Who should be the leaders of this team and who shouldn't be the leaders of this team? I'm going to keep it a buck, Cowboys Nation. Some people are only built to be led. They can be an all-pro at the position, but if they're not willing to sacrifice themselves for the betterment of the team, they need not be forced into a role that doesn't fit them right now. Personally, I feel the leaders of this team consist of Dak Prescott, Zach Martin, DeMarcus Lawrence, Brendan Cooks, Trayvon Diggs, Malik Hooker, and Osa Odighizuwa. Once Tyler Smith gets out of his rookie deal and gets that multiple-year contract, he can form into a leader as well. A team needs to have players who have that leadership gene. That role can't be forced onto a player who doesn't exhibit that attribute. A leader is at the front lines whenever the team comes together. A leader is the one taking responsibility for the loss and spreading responsibility after a win. A leader will sacrifice in order for his teammates to make the play with zero complaints. A leader will not allow anything to take him from that role, whether it's voluntary workouts or OTAs. A leader is going to be there and have a damn good excuse as to why they're not there. Not getting your paper is a damn good reason for CeeDee Lamb, not so much for Micah Parsons. It's okay not to be a leader or have discovered your leadership gene yet. You can be a dog on your team and not be a leader for said team. You can break NFL and franchise records while not being the leader of your team. Some just don't want that type of responsibility, while others haven't tapped into that ability. While there are 53 brands on this team, nothing can get in the way of achieving the team's goal of winning a championship. Nothing should get in the way of you helping your team to achieve that ultimate prize, which is the Super Bowl championship. But members of the Angry Cowboys Fan YouTube channel, let me holler at you real quick. Cowboys Nation, I feel you have to have an example of a leader to spawn more leaders. Sincerely ask yourself this question. When it comes to football, how is Jerry Jones as a leader of a football organization? How is Stephen Jones as a leader? How is Mike McCarthy as a leader? Then people wonder why we have leadership problems. Kind of like real recognizing real. Leaders spawn leaders. This has been your boy, the Angry Cowboys Fan. What did you think about what Rich and Tom had to say? What do you think the Dallas Cowboys could have done to bring more talent into the building? Let's have an adult conversation in the comment section. If you're digging the content and want to help get it out to even more Dallas Cowboys fans, drop a like on the video and share this content with your friends who are Cowboys fans. If you are DC for life and want to help the channel reach its goal of 10,000 subscribers before the start of the regular season, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell so you can be notified whenever I go live, release a video, or a podcast episode. If you want to see the segment meant for the channel members, Hit that join button because for $2 a month, you can join the ACF family membership and get exclusive content you won't find anywhere else. So make sure you hit that join button for more Raw and Uncut. People say calling out Jerry is the low-hanging fruit. Not when it's the only piece of fruit on the tree. Yes, players do make mistakes, but owners put the players on the team. It is the classic case of which coming first. No Diddy, the chicken or the egg. This has been your boy, the Angry Cowboys Fan, and I'm out.